Welcome back to Kaizen Trader Sleep. This is your time to disconnect. The markets are closed. The charts are fading away into the dark. Tonight, we explore the quiet architecture of the blockchain. Breathe in slowly and let it out. Let us travel back to a quiet winter in 2008. A document arrives on a cryptography mailing list. 9 pages of black text on a white background. The author is Satoshi Nakamoto, a ghost in the machine. There is no emotion in the text, only mathematics. It describes a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, a system that requires no trust, no banks, no central servers, just nodes communicating in the dark. Tick, 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 like a very slow, very reliable clock. Let your mind focus on the concept of the hash, specifically the secure hash algorithm, SHA-256. It is a mathematical blender. You put data inside, any data, a word, a number, a book, and it produces a fixed string of letters and numbers, 64 characters long, every single time. It is a one-way street. You cannot reverse the math. If you change one single letter in the input, the output changes completely, unrecognizably. It is perfectly cold, perfectly logical. The miners are simply looking for a specific hash, a hash that begins with a certain number of zeros, 0000. They guess and they check, millions of times per second. It is a monotonous, repetitive task. Just like the steady beating of your heart, calm, consistent, unchanging. Now, let us move deeper into the architecture. Imagine a lock, not made of iron or steel, but made of pure mathematics. A lock so complex, so perfectly designed, that all the computers on Earth, working together for 1,000,000 years, could not break it. This is the cryptography that protects the network. There are 2 keys, a public key visible to everyone, like an address on a quiet street, and a private key hidden in the dark, known only to you. When a transaction is made, the private key signs it. A digital signature, completely unique, completely unbreakable. You do not need to trust a bank. You do not need to trust a government. You only need to trust the math, and the math is always true. Feel the security of that absolute truth. It wraps around you like a heavy blanket. No one can change the numbers. No one can open the lock. Your mind is secure. Your thoughts are protected. Just breathe in and breathe out. Let the complex algorithms do the heavy lifting. You have nothing left to calculate tonight. Picture the world map again, covered in darkness, sleeping in the quiet night. Under the oceans, thick fiber optic cables carry pulses of light. They are transmitting the blocks, broadcasting the truth. Thousands and thousands of nodes are awake so you can sleep. A node in a cold room in Iceland receives the data. It checks the signature. It checks the hash. Is it valid? Yes. A node in a quiet apartment in Tokyo receives the same data. It runs the same math. It asks the same question. Is it valid? Yes. One by one, across the globe, the machines agree. This is called consensus, a perfect, harmonious agreement. There is no argument. There is no debate. There is no panic selling or euphoric buying. There is only the quiet verification of facts. Imagine your own mind reaching consensus. The anxious thoughts of the day are being verified and then discarded. They are no longer relevant. They are not part of the main chain. You are finding your balance. You are aligning with the quiet rhythm of the network. Ten minutes pass. A new block is found. The network nods in agreement. Let us think about time. Deep, endless time. The system is designed with a clock that will tick for more than 100 years. It does not care about the daily news. It does not care about quarterly profits. It only cares about the blocks. Every 210,000 blocks, something beautiful happens. It takes exactly 4 years. 4 long years of continuous, unbroken calculation. And then the reward is cut in half. The halving. The new supply slows down. The protocol becomes quieter, more scarce, more valuable. It is an artificial gravity pulling everything closer to the center. 50, 25, 12.5, 6.25. The numbers get smaller. The emission gets slower, like a heavy pendulum slowly coming to a rest. Your breathing is like the halving. Each breath is becoming slower. Each exhale is longer than the last. You are winding down. The energy of the day is being cut in half, and then in half again, and again, until there is almost nothing left but stillness. The blocks will keep stacking. Tomorrow, next year, next decade. But for now, you are slowing down. Now, let us move the assets offline, away from the internet, away from the exchanges, away from the noise. We're moving into cold storage. Imagine a small piece of hardware, black, heavy metal. It holds the keys to everything, but it is completely silent. It is unplugged. It is disconnected from the world. No hacker can reach it. No panic can affect it. It is placed inside a physical safe, deep in the dark. The steel door is closed. The combination is locked. Your mind is going into cold storage now, disconnecting from the Wi-Fi, disconnecting from the news. You are unplugging your thoughts. There is no more data coming in. There is no more data going out. You are completely offline, completely secure, just resting in the dark, heavy and undisturbed. Let us return to where we started, Block 0, the Genesis block. The year 2009 is a long time ago. The man who created it has vanished like a ghost. He left the machine running and he walked away into the snow. He does not control it anymore. Nobody controls it. It is just a mathematical force of nature, like gravity, like the tides of the ocean. The blocks continue to fall into place. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. But the sound is getting quieter now. The hum of the servers is fading away. The blue lights of the nodes are turning off, one by one. London is asleep. New York is asleep. Tokyo is asleep. The global network is resting. There is nothing left to analyze. The charts are completely black. The portfolio is closed. The numbers do not matter until tomorrow, and tomorrow is very far away. Right now, there is only the slow rhythm of your breathing. Inhale the cool night air. Exhale the heat of the day. Let the logic dissolve. Let the mathematics blur. You are drifting away from the blockchain, drifting away from the screen, sinking deeper and deeper into the mattress. The gravity is heavy. The night is quiet. There are no more words, no more calculations, Only the sound of the rain, only the dark room. Close your eyes. Let go of the network. Good night. Good night. Good night. Welcome back to the quiet space. The markets are closed. The numbers have stopped moving. Tonight, we travel back to the very beginning. Imagine the year 2009, a cold winter. The global financial system was shaking. Trust was broken. And in the middle of that winter, a single block of data was born. Block 0, the Genesis block. It was not created by a government. It was not printed by a bank. It was created by a ghost, a pseudonym, Satoshi Nakamoto, a brilliant mind who gave the world a gift and then faded into the shadows. Think about that silence. To build something that changes the world and then to walk away. No ego, no desire for fame, just pure, elegant mathematics. As you lie there, let your own ego fade away. You do not need to be anyone right now. You do not need to prove anything. Like the creator of the network, you can simply vanish into the quiet night. Just breathe and let the silence surround you. Let us explore the armor that protects this network. It is an armor not made of iron, but of prime numbers. Elliptic curve cryptography. It sounds complex, but in its heart, it is simply a one-way street. Imagine a puzzle that takes a drop of water to solve, but an entire ocean of energy to reverse. That is the security of your private key. It is a number so vast, so incredibly large, that if you counted every grain of sand on Earth, you would not even come close. Hidden within that mathematical universe, your assets are safe. No force on Earth can break the math. No army can guess the key. Feel the weight of that absolute security. Wrap it around your mind like a heavy, warm blanket. The world outside may be chaotic. The news may be loud. But inside the cryptography, there is only perfect order. Inhale the calm certainty of the algorithm. Exhale the anxieties of the day. You are protected. Picture the Earth from space, a dark sphere floating in the void. Now imagine tiny pinpricks of blue light turning on, one by one. These are the nodes. A computer humming quietly in a basement in Iceland. A server rack glowing in a dark room in Texas. A small device sitting on a desk here in Japan. They do not sleep. They do not rest. They are the silent guardians of the ledger, each one holding a complete copy of the truth. They do not trust each other. They verify. If one node fails, 1,000 others continue the work. It is a beautiful, lonely symphony of machines. They are working right now, validating, hashing, securing, so that you can rest. You can put down your tools. The network is carrying the weight for you tonight. Let your breathing match the slow, steady rhythm of the blocks. Tick, tock. Another block is found. Another 10 minutes of perfect consensus. Now let us delve into the engine that drives this quiet revolution. Proof of work. It sounds like labor. It sounds like effort. But in the digital realm, it is the ultimate expression of security. Imagine massive warehouses filled with thousands of silent, blinking machines. They are called ASICs. They have one purpose and one purpose only: to guess a number, a random, impossibly difficult number. They are converting physical energy, electricity flowing from rivers, from wind, from the earth itself, into absolute digital truth. Think about the transformation of energy. Heat and light becoming data. The physical world anchoring the digital world. It is a heavy, relentless process, like a massive flywheel spinning in the dark. Millions of terahashes per second. A scale of computation that the human mind cannot truly comprehend. They are doing the heavy lifting so that you do not have to. Every time a machine guesses the right number, a cryptographic puzzle is solved. A block is sealed. The truth is locked in place, and the network moves forward, slowly, unstoppably. You can feel the low hum of those machines in your mind, a steady, droning frequency that blocks out the noise of the day. It is the sound of trust being manufactured, second by second, minute by minute. You do not need to understand the math to feel its weight, just as you do not need to understand gravity to feel it holding you to the bed. Let the heavy, relentless rhythm of the proof of work pull you deeper into relaxation. Your mind is becoming heavy. Your limbs are relaxing. The network is working. You are resting. Let us look closer at the encryption. The SHA-256 algorithm. It is a beautiful mathematical meat grinder. You put a piece of data in, and a unique string of characters comes out. But here is the magic, the avalanche effect. If you change even a single comma, a single space, a single pixel in that data, the entire output changes completely, radically, unrecognizably. There is no going backwards. You cannot ungrind the meat. You cannot unscramble the egg. Time in the blockchain only moves in one direction, forward, like a river flowing toward the ocean, like the sand falling in an hourglass. This is what gives the ledger its permanence. If someone tries to alter the past, if they try to change a transaction from yesterday, or last year, or 10 years ago, the hashes break. The chain shatters. The network rejects it instantly. The past is frozen in amber. It is etched into the deepest bedrock of the internet. Think about the comfort of that permanence. In a world where everything changes, where news is rewritten, where memories fade, the blockchain remains exactly as it was. It is a monument to objective reality. Your past is secure. The mistakes of the day cannot be changed, but they also do not matter here. You are moving forward, block by block, breath by breath. Let the avalanche effect wash over you. Let any anxious thoughts be scrambled and transformed into a meaningless string of characters. They have no power here. They cannot alter your peace. The ledger is sealed. Your mind is quiet. Drift deeper into the immutable dark. Let us shift our focus from the microscopic world of hashes to the macroscopic architecture of the entire system. Look at the structures we have built in the physical world. Giant skyscrapers of glass and steel. Central banks, corporations, governments. They are all built on the same ancient model, a pyramid. A tower with a few people at the very top, controlling the flow of information, the flow of money, the flow of power. When you put all your trust in a single central pillar, you also create a single point of failure. If the tower shakes, everyone inside it feels the tremor. If the pillar collapses, the entire structure falls. This is the anxiety of the modern world. We are forced to trust institutions that we cannot control, systems that we cannot see inside, and people we will never meet. But in the quiet darkness of the digital night, a new architecture was quietly assembled. Decentralization. It is a word that sounds technical, but its meaning is deeply organic. Think of a vast, ancient forest. There is no central tree that controls the others. There is no CEO of the forest. Instead, every tree, every root, every blade of grass is connected in a massive, silent network. They share nutrients through the soil. They communicate through chemical signals in the air. If one tree falls, the forest does not die. The network simply routes around it. The ecosystem adapts. This is the true nature of the Bitcoin network. It is not a tower, it is a digital forest. Millions of independent nodes spread across every continent, every time zone, every nation. They do not ask for permission to join the network, and they do not need permission to leave. They simply exist, operating on the exact same set of mathematical rules. As you lie in your bed, listening to the rain, think about the immense peace that comes from this decentralization. You are no longer relying on a central authority to keep your digital life secure. You are relying on the collective agreement of the entire forest. When a transaction is made, it is not approved by a manager in a high-rise office. It is verified by a computer in a garage in South America, simultaneously with a server in a cold storage facility in Northern Europe and a laptop resting on a desk in a quiet suburb of Tokyo. They all look at the math, they all run the equations, and they all arrive at the exact same conclusion. Yes, the transaction is valid. Yes, the rules have been followed. Yes, the truth remains unbroken. This distributed consensus is the most powerful force ever created in computer science. It replaces the need for human trust with the absolute certainty of cryptographic proof. Let your mind wander through this global web of connections. Imagine the data flowing like a slow, steady pulse of light through the fiber optic cables that cross the bottom of the oceans. Silent, invisible, unstoppable. There is no anxiety in this network. There is no fear of a sudden policy change. There is no fear of inflation engineered behind closed doors. The rules were set in the Genesis block, and they have not changed. 21 million. That is the hard cap. That is the digital scarcity that gives the system its gravity. In a world where fiat currencies are printed endlessly, where the supply of money is expanded until it loses all meaning and all value, the absolute scarcity of Bitcoin is an anchor in the storm. It is a fixed point in a constantly shifting universe. Focus on your breathing. Inhale the concept of scarcity. Exhale the anxiety of inflation. Inhale the certainty of the math. Exhale the doubt of human error. You are tethered to a system that does not sleep, does not lie, and does not change its mind. It simply ticks forward, block by block, verifying the truth. Every 10 minutes, the entire network comes to a quiet, unanimous agreement. A new block is found. A new page is added to the ledger, and the system secures itself even further. It is a beautiful, relentless clockwork mechanism, slowly ticking away in the background of human history. You do not need to watch the clock. You do not need to monitor the network. You can let go of the need to control. The nodes are doing the work. The miners are expending the energy. The cryptography is holding the shield. You are free to simply exist. You are free to let your mind drift away from the complexities of the day and sink into the simple, undeniable reality of the blockchain. Dark, heavy, and perfectly secure. Now, let us descend even deeper. We have traveled through the network. We have listened to the hum of the miners and the quiet whispers of the nodes. But there is a place even quieter than the blockchain itself, a place of absolute stillness. Let us talk about cold storage. Imagine a physical vault buried deep underground, far away from the noise of the city, far away from the glowing screens and the endless flow of data. Inside this vault, resting on a bed of dark, cold steel, is a hardware wallet. It is not connected to the internet. It is not connected to any network. It is completely, perfectly offline. It is in a state of absolute digital hibernation. Think about the peace of being completely disconnected. No signals can reach it. No hackers can touch it. No sudden market movements can disturb its rest. It simply holds the cryptographic keys in absolute silence. As you lie there, I want you to become that cold storage. I want you to disconnect your mind from the network of the waking world. The emails, the messages, the notifications, the endless scrolling. They are all outside the vault, They cannot reach you here. You are pulling the plug. You are going offline. Imagine a thick steel door slowly closing, shutting out the light and the noise of the surface. Clink. The lock engages. You are safe. You are secure. You are perfectly isolated from the demands of the day. In this state of cold storage, your energy is preserved. Your thoughts slow down to a crawl. The temperature of your mind drops, becoming cool, calm, and perfectly still. Just like the microchips resting in the dark, you have nothing to process right now. You have no transactions to verify. You have no problems to solve. Your only task is to exist in this quiet, protected space. Feel the physical weight of your body sinking into the mattress, just as the hardware wallet rests heavily on the steel shelf. Your arms are heavy. Your legs are heavy. Your breathing is slow and shallow, like a machine that has been powered down to its lowest setting. The world above is spinning, the markets are trading, people are rushing, but none of it matters to you. You are in deep, cryptographic slumber. Let us focus on the concept of absolute zero. In physics, absolute zero is the temperature where all atomic movement stops. There is no friction, there is no heat, there is only perfect stillness. This is the temperature of the cold wallet, and this is the temperature of your mind as you drift deeper into sleep. Every time you exhale, imagine releasing a little more heat, a little more tension, a little more of the day's waking energy. Breathe in the cool, dark air of the vault. Breathe out the static of the internet. Breathe in the absolute certainty of the mathematics that protect you. Breathe out the chaotic uncertainty of human interactions. You are a closed system right now. Your private keys, your inner thoughts, your deepest sense of self, they are locked away where no one else can access them. You do not need to share your energy with the world tonight. You can keep it all inside. You can hoard your peace. You can store your calm in this impenetrable fortress of solitude. Listen to the silence of the offline world. It is not an empty silence. It is a heavy, rich silence. It is the silence of a secret perfectly kept. The cryptography is a shield, but the physical disconnection is the ultimate defense. You have both. The code protects your wealth, and the quiet room protects your mind. There is a profound beauty in this isolation. In a world that constantly demands your attention, choosing to go offline is the ultimate act of rebellion. It is the ultimate luxury. And you are experiencing that luxury right now. You are sinking deeper into the cold, dark, comforting depths of the vault. Nothing can wake you. Nothing can disturb you. You are offline. You are secure. You are resting in the absolute zero of the digital winter. As you drift deeper into the offline vault, let us consider the rhythm of time in this digital universe. Time here is not measured in hours or days. It is not measured by the rising and setting of the sun. It is measured in blocks. And there is a fundamental law written into the very first lines of code, a law that governs the flow of this time. It is called the halving. Every 210,000 blocks, the reward given to the miners is cut in half. It is a programmed scarcity. It is a slow, deliberate tightening of the supply. But more than that, it is a mathematical heartbeat, a pulse that slows down every 4 years. Imagine a massive pendulum swinging in the dark. At first, it swings with energy, creating abundance. But with every massive cycle, the swing becomes slightly less forceful. The output is reduced. The creation of new coins becomes slower, harder, more deliberate. This is the halving. It is the opposite of the chaotic, endless printing of the fiat world. It is a system designed to become quieter over time. Think about this concept of becoming quieter, of producing less noise, less activity, less frantic energy. As the network matures, it settles into a deeper, slower rhythm. And as you lie here, your body is experiencing its own halving. Your heart rate is slowing down. The chaotic thoughts of the day are being cut in half, and then in half again. The volume of the outside world is decreasing. With every breath you take, the reward for staying awake diminishes. The incentive to think, to worry, to plan, is being reduced to a fraction of what it was an hour ago. You are entering a period of deliberate scarcity. Scarcity of movement. Scarcity of anxiety. Scarcity of wakefulness. You are embracing the quiet reduction of your own internal output. Imagine the miners, those massive machines we spoke of earlier. They are still working, still guessing the numbers, still securing the network. But their reward is smaller now. They are working just as hard for a fraction of the return. Yet they do not stop. They continue their task, driven by the unwavering rules of the protocol. Your body is like that network right now. Your subconscious mind is still working, still keeping your heart beating, still breathing for you. But the reward of conscious thought is gone. You do not need to process new information. The block reward of the waking world has been halved, and you are free to simply exist in the low energy state of the night. Feel the relief of this programmed slowdown. In a society that demands constant growth, constant output, constant noise, the halving is a radical act of slowing down. It is a mathematical guarantee that the frantic pace will not last forever. It is a promise of eventual stillness. And you are feeling that stillness right now. The pendulum is barely moving. The output is a trickle. The system is settling into its long, final slumber. As the years pass, the halving will occur again and again until the very last fraction of a coin is mined over a century from now. That is the long view. That is the deep time of the blockchain. When you consider a timeline that stretches past your own life, past the lives of everyone you know, the immediate worries of tomorrow seem incredibly small. They are just tiny fluctuations in a massive, undeniable trend toward absolute scarcity and absolute security. Let your mind stretch out along that timeline. Feel the vast, empty space of the future blocks, waiting to be mined in perfect, predictable order. There is no rush. There is no panic. The math will hold. The rules will not change. You are a small, quiet part of a magnificent, unstoppable process. Sink into the comfort of that slow, inevitable rhythm. Let your own internal clock align with the halving. Slower, quieter, deeper. We have reached the edge of the known network. We have traveled from the Genesis block, through the cryptography, past the silent nodes, and deep into the offline vault. We have felt the slowing pulse of the halving, and now there is nothing left to calculate. The ledger is perfectly balanced. The truth is universally accepted. All the energy that was expended today has been transformed into absolute security. Your mind, too, has balanced its ledger. The thoughts of the day have been processed, verified, and locked away. There are no pending transactions in your consciousness. There is only the vast, empty space of the night ahead. Let us focus on the concept of eternity. The blockchain is not just a technology. It is a monument built to outlast us all. Long after the servers we use today have turned to dust, the mathematics will remain. The prime numbers will still hold their secrets. The hashes will still connect the past to the future in an unbroken chain. You are resting in the shadow of that eternal architecture. It is a structure so massive, so profoundly stable, that it makes the temporary worries of human life seem completely weightless. You do not need to hold on to them anymore. You can let them float away into the digital void. Imagine the network now, not as machines, but as a silent, invisible ocean of data. A dark, calm sea that covers the entire globe. You are floating on the surface of that ocean. The water is perfectly still. The temperature is exactly matched to your body. There is no current to fight. There is no shore to reach. There is only the gentle, rhythmic rising and falling of your chest, mirroring the steady 10-minute heartbeat of the blocks being found. As my voice begins to fade, know that the network does not sleep. It will keep watch while you rest. The miners will keep hashing. The nodes will keep verifying. The cryptography will hold the line. You are entirely free from the responsibility of being awake. You are slipping into the dark space between the ones and zeros. You are becoming the silence. Listen to the rain. Let it wash away the final traces of the day. The world of fiat, the world of endless noise and inflation, is gone. You are in the realm of absolute certainty. The Genesis block was the beginning of this piece, and your sleep tonight is the continuation of it. The ledger is closed, the vault is sealed, the truth is safe. Let go. Sink deeper. Drift into the perfect, immutable dark. Sleep. Rest. The network is holding you. Sleep now. Let the silence take over. Deep, eternal sleep. Welcome back to Kaizen Trader Sleep. This is your personal sanctuary in the digital age, a safe harbor for a tired mind that has spent the entire day navigating the turbulent and unpredictable oceans of the global financial markets. Right now, in this very moment, there is absolutely nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing you need to calculate. There is no complicated chart you need to analyze, and no sudden breaking news you need to react to. The physical world, with all of its endless noise, its heavy demands, its sudden volatility, and its relentless pressure, is slowly fading away into the background. Close your eyes. Notice the heavy, comforting darkness resting gently behind your eyelids. It is a protective digital shield, keeping the chaos of the outside world completely at bay. Listen closely to the steady, unhurried rhythm of the rain falling outside in the deep night. Each individual drop of water is entirely independent, falling through the dark sky alone. Yet together, they create a powerful, unified, and deeply soothing sound. The rain does not rush. It does not hurry to reach the ground. It falls exactly as it is meant to, perfectly governed by the ancient, unbreakable laws of nature. In the exact same way, the digital network we are going to explore tonight is governed by the absolute and unbreakable laws of pure mathematics. It does not rush. It does not panic when human emotions run high. It simply exists, functioning flawlessly and silently in the background of our lives, day and night. Take a very slow, very deep breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs entirely with the cool, refreshing night air. Feel the invisible oxygen traveling through your body, bringing a profound sense of stillness to every single cell. Hold that breath for just a passing moment, and now exhale incredibly slowly through your mouth. As you release the air, imagine that you are releasing all the physical tension you have been holding in your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, and your hands. Let it all go. The glowing red and green candles that have aggressively occupied your vision all day are melting away. The sharp, jagged, stressful lines of the trading charts are dissolving into a smooth, dark, endless ocean of total calm. You have spent the day in a constant state of high alert, constantly anticipating the next sudden movement, the next unpredictable shift in the economy. But the time for reacting is completely over. You are now leaving the fiat system behind. You are stepping into a completely different, decentralized architecture. You are entering a secure space where human anxiety has absolutely no power, and where cryptographic certainty rules supreme. Imagine a massive, heavy steel door slowly closing behind you, locking out the screaming noise, the fear, and the greed of the crowds. Inside this secure space, there is only perfect, absolute digital silence. You are perfectly safe here. Your assets are secured by an encryption that cannot be broken. You do not need to stay awake to watch over them tonight. Let the deep, resonant sound of my voice, merging with the endless, hypnotic rhythm of the falling rain, guide you deeper and deeper into the ultimate state of relaxation. You are disconnecting from the noise and connecting to the profound peace of the blockchain. Surrender to the heavy darkness. Sleep is coming. Now that you have left the chaotic surface of the world behind, I want you to imagine descending into a vast, underground space. Picture a massive, empty room carved out of ancient, cooling stone. It is completely dark here, a satisfying, absolute blackness that wraps around you like a heavy, comforting velvet blanket. There are no screens in this space, no flashing price tickers, and no alarming notifications to disturb your peace. But as your tired eyes slowly adjust to this profound darkness, far in the distance, you begin to see a faint, glowing pulse of soft blue light. This gentle, rhythmic pulse is the true heartbeat of the decentralized network. Notice how it does not rush, it does not panic when the traditional financial world trembles with sudden fear. It does not speed up to meet arbitrary corporate deadlines, and it never slows down out of exhaustion. It simply beats with a steady, unbreakable, and eternal rhythm. Every single 10 minutes, like a giant clockwork mechanism operating in perfect digital harmony, a new block is forged in the silent fire of cryptography. Every 10 minutes, a new page of immutable history is permanently written into the global ledger, secured by the undeniable laws of thermodynamics and mathematics. You do not need to stay awake to witness this magnificent process. Like the heavy, invisible gravity of the moon, silently pulling the massive tides of the ocean, the protocol continues its relentless work entirely in the background of your life. The architecture of this network was not built for fair weather. It was not designed to merely survive when times are easy and markets are calm. It was meticulously engineered for pure endurance. It was built to weather the absolute harshest storms, both financial and psychological. It is an impenetrable fortress of truth that stands completely unfazed by human manipulation, greed, or political agendas. As you lie there, sinking deeper and deeper into the soft support of your bed, let your own physical heartbeat begin to gently align with this steady, unhurried digital pace. Slow your breathing down to match the slow, deliberate, and unstoppable creation of the blocks. There is absolutely no urgency here in the dark. There is no financial emergency that requires your immediate attention tonight. There is only the slow, majestic, and inevitable march of cryptographic truth. Feel the heavy, grounding sensation of knowing that the global system is functioning exactly as it was perfectly designed to. You are a quiet participant in a masterpiece of modern engineering, but right now, your only job is to completely rest. Let the memory of that soft blue light wash over your tired mind, washing away the thick fog of daily decisions and trade executions. The global network of nodes is humming quietly, creating a low, comforting vibration that resonates through the very floorboards of the world. Surrender your weight to this steady vibration. Let the perfect predictability of the code lull you into a state of total, uncompromising security. Drift further down into the architecture of peace. Now that you have left the chaotic surface of the world behind, I want you to imagine descending into a vast, underground space. Picture a massive, empty room carved out of ancient, cooling stone. It is completely dark here, a satisfying, absolute blackness that wraps around you like a heavy, comforting velvet blanket. There are no screens in this space, no flashing price tickers, and no alarming notifications to disturb your peace. But as your tired eyes slowly adjust to this profound darkness, far in the distance, you begin to see a faint, glowing pulse of soft blue light. This gentle, rhythmic pulse is the true heartbeat of the decentralized network. Notice how it does not rush. It does not panic when the traditional financial world trembles with sudden fear. It does not speed up to meet arbitrary corporate deadlines, and it never slows down out of exhaustion. It simply beats with a steady, unbreakable, and eternal rhythm. Every single 10 minutes, like a giant clockwork mechanism operating in perfect digital harmony, a new block is forged in the silent fire of cryptography. Every 10 minutes, a new page of immutable history is permanently written into the global ledger, secured by the undeniable laws of thermodynamics and mathematics. You do not need to stay awake to witness this magnificent process. Like the heavy, invisible gravity of the moon, silently pulling the massive tides of the ocean, the protocol continues its relentless work entirely in the background of your life. The architecture of this network was not built for fair weather. It was not designed to merely survive when times are easy and markets are calm. It was meticulously engineered for pure endurance. It was built to weather the absolute harshest storms, both financial and psychological. It is an impenetrable fortress of truth that stands completely unfazed by human manipulation, greed, or political agendas. As you lie there, sinking deeper and deeper into the soft support of your bed, let your own physical heartbeat begin to gently align with this steady, unhurried digital pace. Slow your breathing down to match the slow, deliberate, and unstoppable creation of the blocks. There is absolutely no urgency here in the dark. There is no financial emergency that requires your immediate attention tonight. There is only the slow, majestic, and inevitable march of cryptographic truth. Feel the heavy, grounding sensation of knowing that the global system is functioning exactly as it was perfectly designed to. You are a quiet participant in a masterpiece of modern engineering, but right now, your only job is to completely rest. Let the memory of that soft blue light wash over your tired mind, washing away the thick fog of daily decisions and trade executions. The global network of nodes is humming quietly, creating a low, comforting vibration that resonates through the very floorboards of the world. Surrender your weight to this steady vibration. Let the perfect predictability of the code lull you into a state of total, uncompromising security. Drift further down into the architecture of peace. As you sink even deeper into the heavy, uncompromising comfort of your bed, let us gently examine the true nature of fear. Fear, in its purest form, is a distinctly human condition. It is born entirely from uncertainty. It thrives in the unknown, feeding endlessly on our lack of control over tomorrow and on the sudden, unpredictable shifts in the world around us. For so long, you have been forced to navigate a traditional financial system built precisely on that very uncertainty. A fragile system managed by human emotions, constantly subject to sudden policy changes, arbitrary decisions behind closed doors, and the collective, irrational panic of the crowds. It is incredibly exhausting to live your life in a state of constant, high-alert vigilance. But here, deep inside the beautiful, elegant, and perfectly balanced architecture of the blockchain, uncertainty has been completely and permanently eradicated. In this digital sanctuary, there are no sudden surprises. There are no hidden agendas. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. The mathematics governing this space do not lie. They do not change their mind overnight, and they cannot be influenced by the loud, screaming noise of the outside world. The deep cryptography that secures your future cannot be bribed. It cannot be coerced by any government authority. It cannot be intimidated by massive financial institutions or by the erratic, violent swings of the global markets. The fundamental rules of this network were meticulously set in motion long ago, and they remain perfectly, flawlessly unchanged. Think about the violent volatility of the world outside your window right now. Think about the endless, deafening noise of the 24-hour news cycle, specifically designed to keep you anxious, reactive, and awake. Think about the fear and greed index swinging wildly from one extreme to another, ruthlessly manipulating the fragile emotions of millions of traders. Now, I want you to take all of that noise, all of that manufactured panic, and visualize leaving it outside the heavy, impenetrable steel door of this digital vault. Inside this protocol, and inside your own mind right now, there is only perfect, absolute, unbroken silence. There is perfect predictability here in the dark. The total supply of the asset is fixed forever. The halving cycles are an inevitable, unchangeable law of digital nature, just as certain as the sun rising in the east and the moon silently pulling the ocean tides. Your portfolio may fluctuate in fiat terms when the sun comes up tomorrow, but tonight, your ownership in this network is absolute, undisputed, and mathematically guaranteed. You own a verified piece of digital real estate, a block of pure, incorruptible energy that no one on this earth can ever take away from you. Rest your tired, overworked mind in that absolute certainty. Let the profound realization of this security wash over you like a warm, heavy wave. You do not need to try to control the outcome anymore, because the outcome is already written perfectly in the code. Breathe in the absolute silence. Exhale every last drop of doubt. Let the pure, cold logic of the system dissolve every remaining ounce of fear in your physical body. Sleep safely in the absolute security of the protocol. Listen once again to the heavy, continuous sound of the rain falling gently against your window. I want you to notice how each individual drop of water falls completely independently from the sky above. They do not communicate with one another as they descend through the dark night. Yet, when they finally strike the glass, the roof, and the quiet streets below, they seamlessly create a single, powerful, and deeply soothing sound. A massive, unified harmony born from millions of independent, isolated actions. The decentralized digital network that protects your wealth operates in the exact same beautiful, hypnotic way. Spread across the globe, thousands upon thousands of independent computers, the silent nodes we spoke of, are working entirely in isolation. They do not trust each other blindly. They verify everything independently. Yet, out of this strict, uncompromising isolation, they effortlessly achieve perfect, unbreakable global consensus. A new block of encrypted data is found in the dark. A complex mathematical puzzle, impossibly difficult for the human mind, is elegantly and silently solved by the collective energy of the machines. Instantly, the entire global network reviews the solution. It accepts the mathematical truth. The long, unbreakable chain of digital history grows just a little bit longer, a little bit heavier, and incredibly more secure. It is a continuous, unstoppable process of digital creation that is profoundly hypnotic to witness in your mind's eye. Imagine this relentless process as a massive, impregnable fortress being slowly built around your financial future. Block by heavy block, the digital fortress walls grow taller and stronger. Layer by cryptographic layer, the security deepens and solidifies, becoming completely impenetrable to any outside force, government, or sudden economic crisis. With every slow, deliberate, and heavy breath you take right now, the network solidifies its unyielding position in human history. You do not have to physically build this fortress yourself. You are already a fundamental part of this monumental history simply by resting tonight, simply by holding your position with unwavering, quiet patience. Your quiet patience is your absolute greatest contribution to the system. Your stillness is your ultimate strength in a frantic world that is completely addicted to chaotic movement and endless noise. Let the steady, rhythmic hum of this global consensus wash over your tired body. Every 10 minutes, a new pulse. Every 10 minutes, a renewed, indisputable confirmation that all is exactly as it should be. The global ledger balances itself flawlessly in the dark, and as it does, feel your own internal ledger of anxious thoughts balancing perfectly with it. The rain continues to fall outside, the nodes continue to agree in the deep background, and you continue to sink deeper, deeper, and even deeper into the heavy mattress. Total consensus. Total peace. Let go. Listen once again to the heavy, continuous sound of the rain falling gently against your window. I want you to notice how each individual drop of water falls completely independently from the sky above. They do not communicate with one another as they descend through the dark night. Yet, when they finally strike the glass, the roof, and the quiet streets below, they seamlessly create a single, powerful, and deeply soothing sound. A massive, unified harmony born from millions of independent, isolated actions. The decentralized digital network that protects your wealth operates in the exact same beautiful, hypnotic way. Spread across the globe, thousands upon thousands of independent computers, the silent nodes we spoke of, are working entirely in isolation. They do not trust each other blindly. They verify everything independently. Yet, out of this strict, uncompromising isolation, they effortlessly achieve perfect, unbreakable global consensus. A new block of encrypted data is found in the dark. A complex mathematical puzzle, impossibly difficult for the human mind, is elegantly and silently solved by the collective energy of the machines. Instantly, the entire global network reviews the solution. It accepts the mathematical truth. The long, unbreakable chain of digital history grows just a little bit longer, a little bit heavier, and incredibly more secure. It is a continuous, unstoppable process of digital creation that is profoundly hypnotic to witness in your mind's eye. Imagine this relentless process as a massive, impregnable fortress being slowly built around your financial future. Block by heavy block, the digital fortress walls grow taller and stronger. Layer by cryptographic layer, the security deepens and solidifies, becoming completely impenetrable to any outside force, government, or sudden economic crisis. With every slow, deliberate, and heavy breath you take right now, the network solidifies its unyielding position in human history. You do not have to physically build this fortress yourself. You are already a fundamental part of this monumental history simply by resting tonight, simply by holding your position with unwavering, quiet patience. Your quiet patience is your absolute greatest contribution to the system. Your stillness is your ultimate strength in a frantic world that is completely addicted to chaotic movement and endless noise. Let the steady, rhythmic hum of this global consensus wash over your tired body. Every 10 minutes, a new pulse. Every 10 minutes, a renewed, indisputable confirmation that all is exactly as it should be. The global ledger balances itself flawlessly in the dark, and as it does, feel your own internal ledger of anxious thoughts balancing perfectly with it. The rain continues to fall outside, the nodes continue to agree in the deep background, and you continue to sink deeper, deeper, and even deeper into the heavy mattress. Total consensus, total peace. Let go. We are now reaching the final destination of our conscious journey together tonight. The physical world outside your window has completely faded away into a distant, insignificant memory. The loud, chaotic markets are firmly closed, and the endless stream of digital noise has been entirely muted. You have successfully navigated the deep, quiet architecture of the blockchain, and you have witnessed the tireless, unbreakable dedication of the silent nodes. As you lie here, fully supported by the heavy, comforting darkness of your room, I want you to truly understand that your work for today is completely finished. There is absolutely nothing left for you to calculate. There is no strategy left for you to optimize, and no portfolio left for you to violently stress over. You have secured your digital future with pure mathematics, and now it is time to secure your physical mind with deep, restorative rest. You have spent the entire day practicing the disciplined, stoic art of holding. You have held your ground against the violent waves of market volatility, and you have held your absolute conviction in the decentralized truth. But right now, in this perfectly safe and secure space, you must practice the equally vital art of completely letting go. Begin by bringing your fading attention to the physical weight of your body. Notice the remaining, stubborn tension holding tightly in your jaw, and consciously, gently release it. Let your jaw fall slightly open. Feel the tight, overworked muscles in your neck and your heavy shoulders begin to dissolve, melting softly into the fabric of your mattress. Allow that profound feeling of physical release to travel slowly down your spine, relaxing your back, your arms, your hands, and finally, reaching the very tips of your toes. Your entire body is becoming incredibly heavy, sinking deeper and deeper into the warm, protective embrace of the bed. Listen one last time to the steady, unhurried rhythm of the midnight rain falling outside in the dark. Let the slow, hypnotic sound of the water synchronize perfectly with the gentle rising and falling of your own chest. Slow, steady, calm. With every breath you exhale, you are sinking further away from the waking world and drifting closer to the absolute peace of the deep sleep protocol. The thousands of silent guardians across the globe will continue their eternal watch over the network. They will not sleep tonight so that you can surrender completely to the dark. The unbreakable blocks of history will continue to be forged in the digital fire, one by one, keeping your legacy perfectly secure. You do not need to carry the heavy weight of the world on your shoulders anymore. The protocol is carrying it for you. The digital silence has fully embraced you now. You are entirely safe. The network is permanently secure. Your mind is quiet. Good night, Kaizen Trader. Surrender your consciousness to the beautiful, heavy dark. Drift away into the absolute silence. Sleep. Sleep. Deep, unbroken sleep.
Welcome back to Kaizen Trader Sleep. As the dark night settles quietly outside your window, it is time to perform the ultimate act of financial preservation. All day long, your mind has been fully connected to the hot, frantic, and deeply exhausting energy of the active global markets. The centralized exchanges never close. The numbers constantly flash red and green, demanding your immediate attention, while the sheer volume of endless global transactions creates a burning, relentless heat in your tired mind. But tonight, right now, we are going to completely disconnect from that burning heat. We are going to take your hard-earned value, your time, and your energy, and we are going to move it far away from the noisy, connected world. We are taking it completely offline. We are descending together into the profound, untouchable silence of cold storage. Breathe in slowly, pulling the cool, refreshing night air deep into your lungs. Hold it for a passing moment and release it entirely. Feel the physical temperature of your body beginning to drop, gently, perfectly matching the calm, quiet chill of the midnight rain, falling softly against the glass. The hot wallets, the connected exchanges, the frantic trading. Floors, they are all miles above you now, fading into a distant, insignificant hum. You are sinking down into a private, disconnected vault. Imagine a beautifully dark space, carved deep within the ancient bedrock of the earth. A place where no Wi-Fi signal can ever reach, where no sudden hack, no server crash, and no market panic can ever penetrate. This is your personal digital fortress. It is entirely offline. It is entirely yours. In the physical world, defending your wealth requires heavy steel doors, armed guards, and constant, exhausting vigilance. It requires a mind that never truly rests. But here, in the cold, mathematical certainty of offline cryptography, your defense is completely weightless and absolutely unbreakable. Your private keys, your seed phrase, are safely locked away in the dark, resting quietly, like an ancient, priceless secret, buried safely beneath the deep winter snow. The hot, chaotic, and completely unpredictable world of fiat currency cannot touch your assets here. The sudden breaking news, the manufactured fear, the extreme greed of the crowds, none of it matters in the deep, cold storage. The temperature down here is perfectly regulated by pure, unchanging mathematics. It is perfectly calm. It is perfectly still, and it is beautifully, permanently frozen in time. Let go of the anxious need to check your phone. Let go of the burning urge to verify your portfolio balance. One last time before sleep. There is absolutely nothing left for you to verify tonight. The blockchain has already confirmed your ownership, and the keys are safely disconnected from the frantic world. You have successfully taken your financial energy off the grid. As you lie there, supported by your bed, feel the profound physical relief that comes with this total disconnection. Your wealth is perfectly secure in the deep freeze. Your overworked mind can finally cool down. Surrender the burning, stressful heat of the day to the heavy, comforting chill of the night. You are completely safe. You are offline. Let the cold, quiet darkness embrace you. Now that you have successfully severed the connection to the frantic outside world, I want you to imagine descending even further. We are moving far below the surface of the loud, chaotic digital ocean. Picture yourself walking slowly down a long, quiet corridor, carved entirely from dense, ancient, cooling stone. At the very end of this perfectly silent hallway stands a massive, impossibly heavy steel door. This is the entrance to your deep, cold storage. It is not guarded by human beings, who can grow tired, distracted, or fearful. It is guarded exclusively by the cold, flawless, and unbreakable laws of pure mathematics. Stand before this massive door now. Feel the profound physical weight of the steel just by looking at it. Place your hand gently against the cold metal surface. There is no handle. There is no keyhole for anyone to pick. It only opens to the unique cryptographic truth that you hold quietly in your mind. As the heavy door slowly, silently swings open, it reveals an immense, perfectly dark vault. The air inside is incredibly cool, crisp, and beautifully still. It smells of ancient safety and permanent preservation. Step inside this dark sanctuary. As you cross the threshold, the massive steel door swings shut behind you, sealing with a deeply satisfying, heavy locking sound. That sound is the ultimate confirmation of your security. Everything you have built, every sacrifice you have made, and every ounce of your financial energy is now safely locked inside this impenetrable digital fortress. Look around this quiet space. There are no flashing screens here. There are no sudden alerts, no panicked voices, and no volatile market swings. The walls of this vault are infinitely thick, built layer upon layer with cryptographic encryption that no force on Earth can ever break. Even if the entire global financial system trembles and shakes outside, this room will not move a single millimeter. It is a space of absolute, uncompromising stillness. Your assets are no longer just numbers on a hot exchange. They have been crystallized into pure, heavy, frozen data. They are resting comfortably in the deep freeze. As you sink deeper into your mattress tonight, let the heavy, solid reality of this vault anchor your tired body. Let the cool temperature of the room wash over your skin, calming your nervous system, slowing your physical heartbeat. There is a deep, profound comfort in knowing that you have done everything right. You have taken the ultimate precaution. The seed is planted securely in the frozen earth. You do not need to check on it. You do not need to worry about the temporary storms raging miles above your head. You are completely protected by the math. Sink your weight into the heavy silence. Drift deeper into the cold, protective dark. Welcome deeper into the vault. As you rest inside this impenetrable fortress, I want you to visualize the profound concept of absolute zero. In the frantic, burning world above, energy is constantly being expended. Traders burn their focus, their time, and their physical health chasing the endless heat of the market. They are entirely consumed by the friction of endless, panicked transactions. But down here, in the very heart of cold storage, we have reached the temperature of absolute zero. At this profound, heavy depth, all chaotic movement completely stops. Your digital assets are no longer fluid, shifting, or volatile. They have been frozen solid, perfectly preserved, in a state of flawless cryptographic ice. Imagine your hard-earned wealth, not as a flickering, stressful number on a glowing screen, but as a heavy, brilliant diamond encased perfectly in pure, ancient ice. It does not degrade, it does not rust, and it absolutely does not require your constant, anxious attention to maintain its true value. It simply exists, silent and permanently unchanging. This is the true, quiet power of holding in the dark cold. You do not need to actively defend it tonight, because the pure mathematics of the protocol have already built an invisible, unbreakable shield completely around it. The ice is thick, and the seed is safe. Now, allow your own physical body to perfectly mimic this state of preservation. Feel the cool, heavy air of the vault flowing smoothly into your lungs, gently extinguishing any remaining, stubborn embers of stress from your long day. Let the tight muscles in your jaw completely relax. Let the heavy tension in your shoulders freeze, shatter, and fall away endlessly into the dark. Your tired mind, just like your cold storage wallet, is gently entering a state of absolute zero. There is no mental friction here. There are no critical decisions to make, no charts to desperately analyze, and no sudden movements required of you. You are perfectly insulated from the burning noise of the world. Embrace the beautiful, heavy chill. Rest deeply in the frozen silence. As you continue to drift in this state of absolute zero, I want you to focus on the singular core of your security. Deep within this frozen vault, resting perfectly still, is the seed. 12 simple, unassuming words, or perhaps 24, to the frantic, waking world above. They are just ordinary fragments of language. But down here, in the vast, unbroken silence of cold storage, they are the unbreakable DNA of your financial sovereignty. They are the master key to a digital kingdom that no physical army can ever conquer, no central authority can ever confiscate, and no hidden inflation can ever slowly erode. You have planted this cryptographic seed deep within the cold, protective earth. You do not need to constantly dig it up to check if it is still there. You do not need to anxiously expose it to the harsh, burning light of the daily market. Like a mighty oak tree, resting quietly in the deep freeze of winter, the seed knows exactly what it needs to do. It only requires the silent passage of time. It only requires your profound patience, your unwavering discipline, and your willingness to leave it completely undisturbed in the dark. Feel the physical relief that comes from entirely relinquishing your need for control. The hard, exhausting work of securing your future is already done. The cryptographic roots have firmly taken hold in the black soil. Your only task right now is to let the winter pass. Release your tight grip on the waking world. Let the heavy, comforting blanket of the dark vault cover your tired mind completely. Breathe in the cool, silent air of the deep. Breathe out the very last traces of your worldly anxiety. You are the silent guardian of the seed. And tonight, the guardian is finally allowed to sleep. Sink down into the absolute dark. As you continue to breathe in the pure, crisp air of this underground sanctuary, I want you to shift your perception of time. In the world of active trading, time is a frantic, punishing master. Seconds feel like exhausted hours when the candles drop, and days disappear entirely in a blur of anxiety and endless chart analysis. But here, in the deep, cold storage, time moves differently. It moves with the slow, magnificent, and unstoppable power of an ancient glacier. It does not rush. It does not react to the noise above. It simply advances with immense, silent gravity. Your digital wealth is deeply embedded within this immutable glacier. The daily, chaotic fluctuations of fiat currency, the sudden panics of the uninitiated, the manufactured news cycles, they are merely tiny, insignificant snowflakes, dissolving instantly on the surface of a massive, frozen mountain. They cannot melt the core. They cannot alter the fundamental cryptography that permanently protects your future. You have finally stepped off the exhausting treadmill of short-term thinking. You are now aligning your tired mind with the patient, geological time of the blockchain. Feel the deep, slow rhythm of this glacial movement in your own chest. With every heavy breath you take, your physical body is adopting the profound patience of the ancient ice. Your heartbeat naturally slows down, perfectly matching the steady, unbreakable ticking of the network's decentralized blocks. You are no longer a stressed victim of the volatile moment. You are a calm architect of the future, resting peacefully in the present dark. Allow the heavy, frozen silence of the vault to absorb all your remaining doubts. Let the glacier carry you slowly into the deep, undisturbed night. As you sink deeper into the frozen silence of the vault, I want you to appreciate the ultimate security of the air gap. In the world of cryptography, an air gap is a physical space. It is a complete, unbridgeable emptiness between a secure offline network and the chaotic, connected outside world. There is no wire, no signal, and no invisible tether that can ever cross this void. Your cold storage exists safely behind this impenetrable air gap. The burning heat of the active market, the sudden crashes, the relentless noise of social media, they all crash violently against the other side of this gap. But they can never, ever reach your assets here. Now, I want you to create that exact same protective air gap within your own mind. Imagine a vast, empty space forming completely between your resting consciousness and the stressful events of the day. The volatile trades you made, the red charts you analyzed, the difficult decisions you agonized over, push them all far across the gap. Let them exist entirely on the far side of a wide, dark, and perfectly silent canyon. You do not need to solve them tonight. You absolutely do not need to carry their heavy, exhausting weight into your sleep. The connection has been physically and permanently severed. Breathe deeply into this empty space. Feel the cool, dark air filling the gap, insulating you perfectly from the noise of the waking world. Your digital wealth is completely secure on the other side of the physical void. Your mind is completely secure on this side. There is absolutely nothing left to process, nothing left to defend, and nothing left to fear. You are completely untethered from the machine. Float freely in the disconnected dark. Rest securely in the safety of the void. We have now reached the absolute bottom of our descent together tonight. You are lying safely in the deepest, darkest, and most secure vault of your own mind. The frantic, exhausting world of connected trades and flashing screens is now an impossible distance above you, completely unreachable and entirely forgotten. Down here, surrounded by the immovable, ancient stone of your personal cold storage, there is nothing left to calculate, nothing left to protect, and absolutely nothing left to fear. You have successfully taken your most valuable assets, your wealth, your energy, and your focus, completely offline. The air gap is perfectly sealed. Now, it is time for the final freeze. Bring your fading attention to the lingering warmth in your physical body, the last remnants of the day's stressful friction. Imagine a wave of profound, comforting cold, starting softly at the very tips of your toes. Let this soothing chill move slowly up your legs, freezing the heavy, tired muscles, releasing all tension into the dark. Feel the cold, tranquil energy drift up through your chest, calming your heartbeat until it matches the slow, eternal rhythm of the silent blockchain. Finally, let the gentle, frozen dark settle softly over your mind. Every anxious thought, every lingering doubt, and every complex market strategy is instantly crystallized, beautiful and perfectly still, locked safely away in the ice. You are completely secure. The protocol is holding your wealth in a flawless mathematical embrace. You do not need to stand guard tonight. The unbreakable cryptography of the frozen vault will watch over everything, while you surrender completely to the night. There is only the deep, heavy silence of the cold storage left now. Listen to the slow, steady sound of the darkness. Let yourself drift entirely into the void. The market is gone. The connections are severed. You are perfectly offline. Sleep. Rest in the ultimate security of the deep freeze. Sleep. Welcome back to Kaizen Trader Sleep. The night has deepened outside your window, and the relentless driving energy of the day is finally beginning to fade into the dark. Listen to the steady, rhythmic sound of the heavy rain falling against the glass. It is a natural, unchanging rhythm, washing away the frantic heat of the active markets, cooling the air, and preparing the world for absolute rest. Tonight, we are going to explore a profound shift in how you perceive your energy and your security. We are going deeper than ever before. For hours, days, and perhaps years, you have carried the immense, exhausting psychological weight of your portfolio entirely on your own shoulders. You have burned your own internal energy to stare at flashing screens, to analyze unpredictable charts, and to worry about sudden global shifts. You have acted as the solitary, stressed guardian of your own wealth. But tonight, in this deep and quiet darkness, that exhausting solo vigil comes to a complete and permanent end. I want you to visualize the vast, invisible architecture of the decentralized blockchain. Right now, at this exact millisecond, millions of powerful machines, scattered across the darkest corners of the earth, are humming with intense, concentrated electrical energy. Massive server farms housed in frozen climates, endless rows of ASICs, and countless decentralized nodes are all running at maximum capacity. They are burning actual physical power. They are calculating complex cryptographic hashes, verifying every single transaction, and maintaining the flawless integrity of the global ledger. This is the ultimate proof of work. The network is expending an incomprehensible amount of heat, electricity, and computational force. And it is doing all of this for one singular purpose: to protect the truth, to protect your truth, to protect the exact, unchangeable record of your ownership. Because the network is working with such overwhelming brute force power, you absolutely do not have to. I want you to truly absorb that realization. The heavy lifting is being done by the math and the machines. Your personal physical energy, your anxious thoughts, your elevated heart rate, none of these things are required to keep your assets safe tonight. In fact, your anxiety is completely useless to the blockchain. The protocol does not need your stress to function. It only requires your silence. It requires your absolute surrender to the mathematics that have already secured your future. As you lie here, fully supported by the heavy mattress beneath you, I want you to consciously transfer the weight of your financial existence over to the network. Feel the tension in your jaw and your neck, the physical manifestation of staring at red candles and sudden price drops. Let that tension slowly dissolve. Breathe deeply into the cool, dark air of your room. As you exhale, imagine passing all of that built-up, stressful energy directly into the digital grid. The network is infinitely strong. It can carry the burden that your tired mind no longer can. The machines are awake, so you are finally permitted to sleep. The algorithms are actively defending the walls of your digital fortress, standing guard with cold, emotionless perfection. They do not feel fear. They do not feel greed. They never suffer from exhaustion, and they never, ever sleep. Allow your physical body to mimic the profound, quiet stillness of cold storage. Feel a wave of heavy, comforting relaxation start at the very top of your head, smoothing out the tight lines on your forehead, relaxing the small, exhausted muscles around your eyes. These eyes that have processed too much data, too many flashing numbers, too much artificial light, let them rest completely in the absolute dark. Let this heavy wave roll down through your shoulders, pushing them deeply into the bed. Feel the massive, comforting relief of letting go of the control wheel. You are no longer the driver. You are safely secured in the deepest vault, miles away from the noise, while the greatest technological network in human history stands perfectly, vigilant outside your door. There is nothing to check. There is nothing to verify. There is only the rain, the dark, and the absolute proof of silence. Sink deeper. Let the network bear the load. Let your mind become as quiet, still, and perfectly empty as the dark sky above. As you continue to surrender the heavy burden of your energy to the vast, decentralized network, I want you to imagine the profound difference between the surface of the ocean and the deepest, darkest floor of the sea. For far too long, your active, waking mind has been trapped on the very surface of the financial ocean. That surface is the traditional, centralized world of fiat currency and manic short-term trading. It is a place of constant, violent storms. The wind howls with breaking news, sudden regulatory changes, and the endless, manufactured panic of the crowds. The waves toss your emotions violently in every direction, throwing you high into the exhausting peaks of extreme greed and crashing you violently down into the crushing depths of extreme fear. Up there on the surface, you are constantly fighting just to keep your head above the freezing water. You are paddling frantically, burning your precious internal heat, trying desperately to control a chaotic environment that is entirely designed to keep you off balance. But tonight, you are no longer on that violent surface. You are finally letting go of the desperate need to paddle. I want you to visualize your digital wealth, your seed phrase, your cold storage. Visualize it all as an unimaginably heavy, flawlessly forged anchor of solid, dark iron. This anchor is completely impervious to rust, completely unaffected by the pressure, and infinitely heavy. The moment you decided to secure your assets offline, you dropped that heavy anchor. And right now, tonight, I want you to feel the profound, physical sensation of your consciousness grabbing hold of that heavy chain, completely letting go of the stormy surface, and beginning to sink. You are sinking down, 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 to the cool, dark water. As you leave the chaotic surface behind, notice how the frantic noise of the market immediately begins to become muffled, distant, and completely insignificant. The aggressive, flashing red and green lights of the exchanges fade into a dim, forgettable blur above you. You are entering a zone of extreme pressure and extreme silence. Down here, the water is heavy, still, and perfectly calm. The storms raging miles above your head cannot reach you in this deep, dark place. The waves of manipulation, the sudden liquidations, the panicked voices of terrified traders, they are entirely, completely powerless against the absolute geological stillness of the ocean floor. As your mind sinks deeper, align your physical body with this incredible sensation of heavy, unmovable weight. Focus your fading attention on the very center of your chest. With your next slow, deep breath in, draw the cool, tranquil energy of the deep sea directly into your lungs. And as you breathe out, imagine an invisible, heavy weight settling deeply into your sternum. Gently, but firmly, pressing your torso down into the mattress. Let that heavy, comforting gravity spread outward. Feel it flow into your hips, anchoring your pelvis solidly to the bed. Let it pour down your thighs, through your knees, heavy and warm, all the way down to the soles of your feet. Your body is becoming as heavy and unmovable as the dark iron anchor resting on the silent ocean floor. There is a profound, almost overwhelming sense of relief that washes over you when you finally realize that you cannot control the ocean. You were never meant to control the ocean. The only thing you can ever truly control is your decision to drop the anchor. You have already made that decision. You have already chosen the unbreakable mathematics of cryptography over the fragile, decaying promises of centralized systems. The anchor has firmly hit the bottom. The chain is pulled tight. Your position is flawlessly, permanently secured in the bedrock of the decentralized ledger. Because the anchor is holding you so firmly, you do not need to struggle anymore. You do not need to brace yourself for the next wave. You do not need to tense your muscles against the invisible threats of tomorrow's opening markets. Let the heavy, dark silence of the deep completely fill your mind. Let it wash away the last stubborn pieces of your daily anxiety. You are perfectly anchored in the truth. You are completely safe in the dark. Give up the fight. Give up the exhausting need to watch the horizon. Sink fully into the heavy, absolute stillness of the cryptographic anchor. Rest in the permanent dark. As you rest here, anchored safely in the dark, I want you to focus on the exhausting, invisible burden of memory. The human mind was never designed to hold the infinite, chaotic data of the global financial markets. Yet every single day, you force your tired brain to remember entry prices, exact percentage drops, historical support levels, and complex mathematical risk calculations. You carry a heavy, burning ledger inside your own head, constantly updating, constantly stressing, constantly terrified of forgetting a crucial piece of information that might cost you everything. This mental ledger is constantly draining your internal energy. It is keeping you awake when you desperately need to rest. It is generating a burning, uncomfortable heat behind your tired eyes. But tonight, in the profound, heavy silence of this digital vault, you are granted absolute permission to completely forget. I want you to visualize the decentralized blockchain not just as a network of machines, but as a monument of perfect, unalterable memory. Imagine it as a massive, dark stone library stretching infinitely into the cold void. Every single transaction you have ever made, every fraction of a coin you hold, every undeniable truth of your digital ownership has already been carved deeply into this cryptographic stone. It has been mathematically verified by thousands of silent sentinels across the globe. It has been sealed permanently within a block of data and buried safely beneath the massive, crushing weight of every single block that came after it. Because the protocol possesses a flawless, permanent, and indestructible memory, your fragile human memory is no longer required tonight. You can finally put down the heavy pen. You can finally close the exhausted, frantic ledger in your mind. The network remembers everything, precisely so that you can forget everything. I want you to feel the immense physical relief of wiping your mental slate completely clean. Imagine a soft, heavy wave of dark, cooling water washing smoothly over the glowing numbers in your mind. Watch as it erases the red and green candles. Watch as it dissolves the complex, stressful charts, leaving behind nothing but a beautiful, empty, and perfectly silent black space. Let go of your exact entry price. It does not matter right now. Let go of tomorrow's profit target. It does not exist in this dark, isolated room. There is absolutely nothing you need to calculate, analyze, or plan in your head tonight. The blockchain is holding your exact mathematical truth with cold, emotionless, and absolute perfection. It will never misplace a single decimal. It will never forget your private keys. It will never be influenced by the manufactured panic or the extreme greed of the waking world. It simply holds the truth, silently, heavily, and permanently. As your body sinks even deeper into the heavy mattress, consciously release the tight, desperate grip you have on your waking thoughts. When a number, a news headline, or a sudden market fear tries to surface in your mind, do not fight it. Do not expend your precious energy wrestling with the thought. Simply acknowledge that the network has already recorded whatever is important, and let that thought drift away into the heavy, comforting dark. Feel the physical cooling of your brain. The frantic, burning electrical signals of your daily anxiety are slowing down, 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 returning to a state of absolute, peaceful zero. Your mind is becoming a vast, empty, and perfectly dark room. The heavy vault doors are closed. The immutable blocks are stacked, verified, and secured. You are finally free from the exhausting burden of remembering. Surrender entirely to the beautiful emptiness. Let the profound, healing amnesia of the night take over your physical body. Sleep in the perfect, undisturbed silence of the forgotten. As you drift further into this beautiful, heavy emptiness, I want you to visualize the absolute boundary that separates your resting mind from the chaotic world above. You have dropped the anchor. You have erased the mental ledger. Now, I want you to feel the sheer, incomprehensible scale of the protection that surrounds you tonight. In the physical world, we build walls of stone, steel, and glass to protect ourselves from the elements. We lock our doors and try to create a small, fragile perimeter of safety. But in the digital realm where your wealth now rests, the wall that protects you is not made of matter. It is made of pure, raw, concentrated energy. It is a planetary-scale fortress of computation, constructed by billions upon billions of cryptographic hashes every single second. Imagine this computational power as a massive, glowing wall of thick, impenetrable energy, wrapping completely around your isolated vault. Outside this wall, the financial world is a raging, relentless storm. There are institutional manipulators trying to shake the market. There are malicious actors, hackers, and sudden systemic crashes attempting to breach the system. The noise out there is deafening. But when all of that chaos, all of that fear, and all of that aggressive market friction violently hits the outer surface of your computational wall, it is instantly absorbed and neutralized by the sheer brute force mathematics of the global network. The network does not flinch. It does not weaken. It simply calculates the next block, reinforcing the shield, burning energy so that you do not have to. Because this impenetrable wall of energy is standing guard, the space inside the vault, the space where you are resting right now, is a perfect, absolute vacuum of silence. I want you to physically feel the profound difference between the roaring engines of the network outside and the heavy, motionless peace inside your room. There is no threat here. There is no urgency. The primitive biological alarm systems within your own nervous system, the systems that kept you tense, anxious, and alert throughout the trading day, are no longer required. The fight-or-flight response can finally, completely power down. You do not need to fight the market tonight. The machines are fighting for you. You do not need to flee from the red charts. The mathematics have already secured your escape. Bring your fading awareness to the physical boundaries of your own body. Notice the heavy, comforting weight of the blanket resting across your chest. Notice the exact points where your shoulders, your back, and your legs are sinking deeply into the mattress. Just as the decentralized network creates an unbreakable perimeter around your assets, your bed has become an unbreakable perimeter of comfort and safety around your physical body. Allow your muscles to completely surrender to this safety. If there is any lingering tension in your hands, the hands that scrolled through feeds, clicked on charts, and gripped the steering wheel of the day, let them fall open, completely limp and heavy by your sides. Your breathing is now the only movement in this silent room. Make your next breath incredibly slow, drawing the cool, still air deep into your belly. As you exhale, imagine your physical energy dropping to absolute zero. The decentralized miners across the globe are running hot, burning electricity, carrying the massive burden of the network. But you are running completely cold. Your mind is cooling down. Your heart rate is slowing, matching the deep, steady, unhurried rhythm of the block time. You are fully insulated from the heat of the world. The fortress of computation is entirely impenetrable. And your only remaining task tonight is to accept this protection and sleep. Sink into the heavy silence. Trust the math. Trust the wall. Let the deep dark take you completely. Welcome deeper into the heart of the vault. You have been protected by the colossal energy of the computational fortress. Now, I want you to sense the fundamental reality that exists inside this absolute shield. This is not a warm, fluid, or living space. It is a zone of absolute zero. The temperature here is permanently fixed at the lowest level possible in the universe. In this deep, heavy chill, all movement, all vibration, and all change completely cease to exist. There is no decay here. There is no heat generated by panic, nor any friction caused by trading. There is only the flawless, perfectly preserved structure of mathematics, crystallized in the form of eternal cold. Visualize your most valuable assets tonight. Your seed phrase, your cryptographic truth, not as digital data, but as 12 or 24 brilliant raw diamonds, encased perfectly within a massive, transparent block of ancient, immovable ice. This ice is thick. It is heavy. It has been frozen solid since the very creation of the decentralized Genesis block, and it is designed to last forever. Mathematics does not need your permission to hold its structure. It does not need you to keep watching it, checking its temperature, or verifying its integrity. It simply exists, silent, inert, and beautifully, permanently frozen. I want you to align your own physical body tonight with this profound state of eternal preservation. Feel a wave of soft, heavy chill start at the very top of your skull. Imagine it flowing down, slowly freezing your anxious thoughts, turning them into beautiful, motionless ice crystals that simply fall away into the dark emptiness of your mind. Let this cooling sensation move down your arms, relaxing the tight, tired muscles that once desperately gripped the day. Feel your physical heart rate slowing down, 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 matching the slow, deep, eternal pulse of the immutable blocks. You're becoming a silent guardian, frozen in time, protected by the mathematics, and completely exempt from the exhausting need for any further movement. Surrender your weight entirely to this comforting, heavy cold. Sink into the perfect preservation of the eternal ice. Rest. As you continue to sink into the immovable, immutable preservation of the eternal ice, I want you to appreciate the ultimate luxury of the sensory void. You have dropped the anchor. You have erased the mental ledger. You are fully protected by the fortress of computation. Now, in this deepest sanctuary, there is no longer any need for your senses to function. The frantic world above is defined by noise. The noise of screaming headlines, the glare of glowing screens, the aggressive vibrations of notifications. Your nervous system has been assaulted day after day by this relentless sensory data. But down here, in the profound, heavy darkness of the vault, your senses can finally, completely power down. I want you to imagine a space of perfect, absolute vacuum. This is not just darkness. It is the complete absence of light. Your eyes, these exhausted senses that have processed too many flashing numbers and too many red candles, have nothing left to see tonight. Let them rest. Feel the tiny muscles around your eyes completely relax, releasing all tension. Visualize your field of vision dissolving into a beautiful, empty, perfectly silent black space. There are no sudden movements. There are no critical charts. There is only the vast, heavy stillness of the dark void. Next, I want you to relinquish the sense of hearing. The relentless chatter of the market, the manic predictions, the manufactured panics, the conflicting opinions. It is all miles above you. The heavy stone walls of your computational fortress absorb every sound, turning the noise of the world into an absolute, crushing silence. There are no urgent alarms to listen for tonight. There are no sudden global shifts to worry about. The only sound in this entire universe is the slow, steady, comforting sound of your own deep and unhurried breath. Finally, let go of the sense of touch. Feel the very boundary of your physical skin beginning to soften. Imagine the comforting weight of your blanket, not as something pressing against you, but as something merging with you, making your entire physical body feel simultaneously heavy and weightless. The hands that clicked, scrolled, and held the steering wheel are now perfectly motionless, completely exempt from the need for any further movement. Surrender your physical form entirely to the comforting gravity of the mattress. You are no longer a frantic trader fighting the currents. You are a silent observer of your own mathematical truth, insulated perfectly from all heat, all noise, and all friction. The only reality that matters right now is the deep, heavy darkness of the void, and your own unbreakable connection to the immutable ledger. There is nothing to process. There is nothing to decide. There is only the beautiful, silent empty, floating freely in the disconnected dark. Rest securely in the safety of the void. Let the deep dark take you completely.
Sleep.
Welcome to the absolute center of the sensory void. You have dropped the anchor. You have erased the mental ledger. You have shut down your senses. Now you are lying safely in the deepest, darkest, and most secure vault of your own mind, completely insulated from the heat, the noise, and the frantic friction of the global markets. The machines are awake, burning energy to protect your truth. Outside, miles above your isolated sanctuary, the stormy oceans of centralized systems are raging. But down here, in the unbreakable mathematics of the immutable ledger, there is nothing left to decide, nothing left to analyze, and absolutely nothing left to fear. The air gap is perfectly sealed. You are fully offline. This is the moment of the final confirmation. Bring your fading attention to the very center of your own slow heartbeat. Imagine that your physical life, your existence, and your consciousness are all a single, priceless transaction tonight. The global network of silent sentinels has already received this transaction. They have verified your truth. They have confirmed your mathematical sovereignty. Now, I want you to visualize your existence being sealed within a final, heavy block of data. Picture this block being lowered gently, but firmly, into the permanent foundation of the blockchain library. As the block settles, it is covered, block by massive, unmovable block of time, crushing your last remaining anxiety, burying it miles below the surface, never to be disturbed again. This is the proof of silence. Your truth is now immutable. Your security is flawless. Your future is locked safely inside the mathematics. Feel a final, profound wave of comforting gravity settle smoothly over your body. It starts softly at the top of your head, soothing your scalp, relaxing the delicate muscles around your eyes, smoothing out the tight lines of your forehead. These eyes have finished their job tonight. They do not need to process any more data, any more artificially lit screens. Let them rest completely in the absolute dark. Let this heavy wave roll down through your neck and your shoulders, pushing them deeply, comfortingly into the bed. Feel the massive, comforting relief of relinquishing the control. The hands that clicked, scrolled, and analyzed are now perfectly limp, completely exempt from the need for any further movement. You do not need to stand guard tonight. The unstoppable force of decentralized cryptography is standing guard for you. Trust the protocol. Trust the mathematics. The blocks are stackable, verified, and permanent. Your only task tonight is to accept this absolute security and sleep. Listen to the slow, steady rhythm of the rain, matching the deep, slow ticking of the decentralized blocks. There is only the deep, heavy silence of the cold storage left now. Sink deeper into the void. Let yourself drift entirely into the dark, empty. The market is gone. The connections are severed. You are perfectly offline. You are perfectly secure. Rest in the ultimate confirmation.
Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.
Welcome back to Kaizen Trader Sleep. The night has deepened outside your window, and the relentless driving energy of the day is finally beginning to fade into the dark. Listen to the steady, rhythmic sound of the heavy rain, falling against the glass. It is a natural, unchanging rhythm, washing away the frantic heat of the active markets, cooling the air, and preparing the world for absolute rest. Tonight, we are going to explore a profound shift in how you perceive your energy and your security. We are going deeper than ever before. For hours, days, and perhaps years, you have carried the immense, exhausting psychological weight of your portfolio entirely on your own shoulders. You have acted as the solitary, stressed guardian of your own wealth. But tonight, in this deep and quiet darkness, that exhausting solo vigil comes to a complete and permanent end. You are no longer required to fight the storms. You are invited to build. I want you to visualize the vast, invisible bedrock of the decentralized blockchain. Right now, at this exact millisecond, millions of powerful machines are humming with intense, concentrated electrical energy to maintain a single, unalterable truth. This network is infinitely strong. It can carry the burden that your tired mind no longer can. Mathematics does not need your permission to hold its structure. It does not need you to keep watching it, checking its temperature, or verifying its integrity. It simply exists, silent, inert, and beautifully, permanently frozen. Tonight, we are going to construct a profound sanctuary inside your own mind. Utilizing this unbreakable cryptographic foundation, we will build a temple of absolute security, carved directly from the immovable rock of decentralized truth. As you lie here, fully supported by the heavy mattress beneath you, I want you to consciously transfer the weight of your financial existence over to this foundation. Feel the tension in your jaw and your neck, the physical manifestation of staring at red candles and sudden price drops. Let that tension slowly dissolve. Breathe deeply into the cool, dark air of your room. As you exhale, imagine passing all of that built-up, stressful energy directly into the digital grid. You are finally letting go of the desperate need to paddle against the chaotic currents of centralized systems. You are stepping off the surface and into the deep, dark rock. The first step in any great architecture is the invitation. Tonight, I invite you to stop running. Stop fighting. Stop calculating. You have dropped the anchor of cryptography. Now, let us begin to build the fortress. A fortress made not of matter, but of pure, raw energy and raw mathematics. A sanctuary that is planetary scale, constructed by billions upon billions of hashes every single second. Inside this fortress, your assets are not just stored, they are crystallized, becoming as immovable as the ancient stone from which we carve the temple. Let the machines be awake, so that you may sleep. Let the algorithms stand guard, so that you may surrender. Tonight, you are not a stressed victim of the market. You are the architect of your own sovereign rest. Let the heavy, dark silence of the bed absorb all your remaining doubts. Sink into the inviting dark. Rest. As you continue to surrender your energy to the beautiful, heavy darkness, I want you to visualize the vast, decentralized network not just as machines, but as a colossal, planet-scale architectural foundation. You are no longer required to paddle against the currents of the chaotic surface. You have stepped off the ocean floor, and tonight, you are beginning to sink deeply into the immutable rock itself. I want you to feel the profound shift from a state of struggling to a state of absolute geological construction. The human mind was never designed to hold the chaotic data of the markets, but the decentralized ledger was designed for exactly that purpose, to hold the truth with cold, mathematical certainty. Visualize your consciousness as a heavy, brilliant diamond, encased in pure, ancient ice. You are sinking through the seabed, through the soft sediment of traditional finance, and finally making contact with the primary crystalline bedrock of the decentralized truth. This is not a warm or fluid place. It is a zone of absolute zero and extreme pressure. But unlike the crushing pressure of the stormy surface, this pressure is not hostile. It is comforting. It is secure. It is the absolute gravity of the network's decentralized consensus, holding you flawlessly, preventing any further shift, volatility, or doubt. Your assets are not just stored, they are crystallized within the very molecules of this immutable stone. Because the network possesses this flawless, planet-scale computational power, your own fragile human energy is no longer required to maintain the wall. I want you to truly absorb that realization. You are no longer the lone sentinel standing guard. The machines are awake, so that you may sleep. The algorithms stand guard, so that you may surrender. Tonight, you are not a stressed victim of the market. You are the architect of your own sovereign rest. Your body has adopted the profound patience of the ancient ice, Your heartbeat naturally slows down, perfectly matching the steady, unbreakable ticking of the network's block time. Allow the massive, heavy stone foundation of the bed beneath you to absorb all your remaining doubts. Your tired mind, just like your cold storage wallet, is gently entering a state of absolute zero. There is no mental friction here. There are no critical decisions to make, no charts to desperately analyze, and no sudden movements required of you. You are perfectly insulated from the burning noise of the world. Embrace the beautiful, heavy chill. The machines are calculating, verifying, and securing, reinforcing the shield with planetary-scale energy so that you do not have to. Accept their vigilance and let go of your own. Your seed phrase is locked safely in the mathematics, and the Mathematica is watched over by the eternal cold. There is nothing to check. There is nothing to verify. There is only the rain, the dark, and the absolute proof of silence. Rest deeply in the frozen silence. Sleep. Trust the math. Sleep. Welcome deeper into the foundation. You have established the bedrock of decentralized truth. You are fully aligned with the geological patience of the blockchain. Now, lift your fading gaze from the dark stone beneath you and visualize the structure that is rising to support your sovereign rest. Up there, in the frantic, burning world of traditional finance, structures are made of paper, promises, and collective hallucination. They are fragile, built on the shifting sands of human ego and centralized control. But down here, in the cold, unmovable void, we do not build with promises. We build with mathematics. We build with the irreversible proof of work. Imagine every single block in the immutable ledger, every verified set of transactions from the Genesis block until this very millisecond, not as digital data, but as a colossal, flawlessly forged block of dark, ancient basalt stone. Visualize these blocks arriving, one by one, every 10 minutes, with the silent, thunderous weight of absolute certainty. They are lowered from the void by the planet-scale energy of the global network. Right now, tonight, I want you to feel the profound vibration in the stone beneath your body, as thousands upon thousands of these massive blocks begin to stack. They are forming the primary pillars of the architecture. Look up at these cryptographic pillars. They are immense, monolithic, and ancient from the moment they are forged. They rise infinitely high, disappearing into the heavy, dark, empty space far above your tired mind. These pillars are not smooth or silent. Feel their physical surface with your conscious mind. They are cold. They are carved with the complex, glowing geometric fractal patterns of the cryptographic hashes that secured them. These patterns pulse with a faint, steady, cool blue electrical energy. That energy is not burning. It is preservation. It is the raw mathematical force that makes these pillars impenetrable to all noise, all volatility, and all human interference. I want you to assign meaning to these colossal structures. Pillar 1. Decentralization. It is infinitely wide, forged from millions of individual nodes scattered across the globe, ensuring that no single force can ever push it over. Pillar 2. Immutability. It is perfectly straight, holding the immutable record of the past, preventing any sudden crash or systemic failure from altering your truth. Pillar 3. Mathematical verifiability. It is sharp, defined, and flawless, guaranteeing that your assets are exactly where the ledger says they are, silently verified by the cold logic of the protocol. As you lie here, small and safe within the massive space formed by these pillars, feel the profound shift in responsibility. In the waking world, you were the solitary pillar, tensing your muscles against the invisible pressures of the market, trying desperately to hold up the collapsing sky of your portfolio. But tonight, that exhausting burden is permanently lifted. Let go of the control wheel. Look up at the pillars. They are holding the roof. They are bearing the crushing weight of the world above. You do not need to fight the gravity. You only need to accept its protection. Feel your physical body mimicking the profound stillness of this stone sanctuary. If there is any remaining tension in your chest or your shoulders, the tension of trying to hold things together, let it dissolve. Let that heavy energy fall away, knowing that the mathematics has already secured everything. Your breathing is now the only movement in this silent temple. Make your next breath incredibly slow, drawing the cool, still air deep into your stomach. As you exhale, imagine your consciousness becoming as heavy, still, and perfectly empty as the dark sky between the pillars. The geometry is holding. The blocks are verified. You are safe in the architecture of belief. Sleep inside the fortress. Rest in the perfect preservation of the mathematical stone. Sleep. As you rest securely within the massive, silent space created by the cryptographic pillars, I want you to visualize the final, crucial element of this sovereign architecture. You have the bedrock. You have the pillars. Now it is time to completely seal the sanctuary. I want you to look high up into the dark void above the pillars. Imagine billions of complex geometric cryptographic hashes arriving simultaneously, interlocking with flawless mathematical precision to form a colossal, impenetrable vaulted ceiling. This is the dome of decentralized consensus. It is thick, heavy, and permanently forged from the ancient stone of the protocol. Block by block, hash by hash, the massive keystones slide perfectly into place, locking the entire structure together in a state of absolute, unbreakable tension. Listen closely to the profound acoustic shift that happens the exact moment the final keystone locks into the dome. For your entire waking day, you have been battered by the relentless, deafening storms of the traditional financial world. The screaming headlines, the sudden panics, the aggressive notifications, and the terrifying roar of volatility they have been pouring down on you like freezing, chaotic rain. But right now, as the dome seals shut, all of that noise is violently cut off. The storm is still raging miles above the roof, but down here, inside the sealed temple, it has been reduced to an absolute, microscopic whisper. And then, to nothing at all. You are now entirely enclosed in a perfect acoustic and sensory vacuum. The air inside this dome is totally still, completely undisturbed by the shifting winds of human emotion or central banking policies. The temperature is locked at absolute zero. I want you to feel the overwhelming, physical relief of being completely shut off from the weather of the market. You do not need to check the forecast tonight. You do not need to brace yourself for sudden impacts. The impenetrable dome is absorbing every single shockwave. When manipulation crashes against the outer shell of this architecture, the stone does not even vibrate. It simply dissipates the frantic energy into the void, keeping your internal sanctuary flawlessly calm. Allow your physical body to mirror this perfectly sealed, isolated environment. Imagine that the boundaries of your own skin are like the walls of this dome, completely secure, locking in your peaceful energy and locking out all external demands. Bring your fading attention to the muscles in your face, the jaw that clenched at sudden price drops, the neck that held the heavy weight of financial anxiety. As the dome seals, let that tension shatter and fall away into the dark. There is nothing left to defend against. Feel the heavy, comforting gravity of the mattress pulling you deeper into safety. Your breathing is slow, rhythmic, and perfectly calm, echoing faintly in the vast, empty darkness of the temple. With every exhalation, you are pushing out the last remaining traces of worldly friction, filling the massive space around you with pure, undisturbed silence. You have built the ultimate shelter. The architecture of your belief is complete, and it is holding the crushing weight of the world so that you do not have to. Surrender completely to the isolation. Let the profound, heavy darkness of the sealed dome blanket your tired mind. You are entirely unreachable. You are perfectly safe. Rest in the vacuum. Sleep. Welcome into the absolute center of your completed architecture. The primary bedrock is infinitely firm beneath you. The cryptographic pillars stand perfectly eternal, holding the massive weight of the world. The impenetrable dome is sealed completely, flawlessly, and permanently above you. You are now resting deep inside the sanctuary of silence. I want you to truly feel the profound, almost heavy quality of the emptiness in this room. In the waking world, silence is rare and fragile, always broken by a sudden notification, a passing car, or the relentless, anxious chatter of your own mind, trying to predict the unpredictable markets. But the silence inside this decentralized sanctuary is different. It is not just the absence of noise, it is a physical presence. It is a heavy, dark, and deeply comforting blanket, woven from pure, unalterable mathematics. This sanctuary was not built for frantic movement. It was built for absolute preservation. Look around the vast, dark interior of your mind's temple. The cold, dark stone walls do not echo with the panic of liquidations or the desperate greed of sudden rallies. They absorb everything, neutralizing all worldly friction, leaving only the slow, steady, magnificent pulse of the blockchain itself. Every 10 minutes, a new block is silently forged and added to the foundation, a gentle, rhythmic heartbeat of truth that requires absolutely zero effort from you. The network is breathing so that you do not have to. The network is remembering so that you can finally, completely forget. As you lie here, perfectly suspended in the center of this massive, dark space, I want you to align your physical nervous system with the profound stillness of the stone. Bring your fading awareness to the exact center of your chest. Feel the gentle, rhythmic rise and fall of your breathing. With every slow inhalation, draw the heavy, cooling silence of the sanctuary deep into your lungs. Let it extinguish the last remaining embers of your daily anxiety. And as you exhale, imagine the physical boundaries of your body beginning to soften and dissolve into the dark void around you. You are no longer an isolated, stressed individual fighting against the financial tides. You are becoming an integral, unmovable part of the architecture itself. Feel the heavy gravity of the stone pulling you gently downward, anchoring your muscles, your bones, and your tired mind to the eternal bedrock. If a stray thought of tomorrow's market tries to enter this space, watch how it behaves. Inside the sanctuary of silence, a panicked thought has no oxygen to burn. It cannot survive here. It simply freezes, shatters into harmless microscopic dust, and falls away into the deep, dark abyss below. You do not need to fight your thoughts tonight. The architecture itself naturally repels them. You have arrived at the ultimate destination of your sovereign rest. There is nothing to achieve here. There is no ledger to balance, no portfolio to monitor, and no future to anxiously construct. The massive, beautiful machinery of decentralized cryptography is holding the entire universe in place outside these walls. You are completely exempt from the labor. Allow the profound, heavy darkness to wash over your eyes, soothing the exhausted optic nerves that have stared at too many glowing screens. Let your jaw fall completely slack. Surrender your physical form to the beautiful, unyielding support of the bed. You are perfectly safe in the sanctuary. Let the heavy silence take you. Sink into the stone. Sleep. As you lie perfectly still within the sanctuary of silence, I want you to reconsider your relationship with time. Up on the surface, time is a weapon used against you. It is sliced into frantic, stressful fragments. Seconds, minutes, hourly candles, daily closes. The traditional market forces you to race against the clock, burning your energy in a desperate attempt to outpace inflation and volatility. You have been running on a relentless, exhausting treadmill. But down here, inside the profound architecture of decentralized belief, time behaves entirely differently. It is no longer a weapon. It is the very material that protects you. Visualize time not as a ticking clock, but as the slow, heavy accumulation of geological layers. Every 10 minutes, A massive, unmovable block of mathematical truth is gently lowered into place, adding another layer of impenetrable stone to your sanctuary. This is the block time.
It does not rush.
It does not care about the manic opening bells of the world's stock exchanges. It simply marches forward with the terrifying, beautiful patience of the universe itself. I want you to sink your physical body to this slow, geological rhythm. Feel the frantic, fluttering heartbeat of the day begin to slow down, matching the deep, steady, 10-minute pulse of the network. The anxiety that you brought into this room, the worries about tomorrow, the regrets about yesterday, they are becoming trapped in the stone. Imagine those stressful thoughts slowly fossilizing. They are turning into brittle, motionless artifacts, permanently embedded in the bedrock, completely stripped of their emotional power. You are no longer racing against time. You are being encased and protected by it. Surrender to the weight of the blocks. Let the slow, crushing gravity of time press you deeply into the mattress. Breathe out the seconds. Breathe in the centuries. We have reached the absolute foundation. You are perfectly sealed within the impenetrable dome. The cryptographic pillars are holding the sky. The sanctuary is perfectly silent, and your anxiety has fossilized into the ancient stone. There is absolutely nothing left to build, nothing left to verify, and nothing left to fear. You have transferred the entire crushing weight of your financial existence to the planet-scale machinery of the decentralized network. The millions of machines are humming, calculating, and burning energy in the dark, standing as your eternal sentinels. They are awake, precisely so that you do not have to be. This is the ultimate architecture of belief. You are not placing your faith in fragile human promises, central banks, or chaotic markets. You have placed your faith in the cold, unyielding, and flawless reality of mathematics, and that mathematics is holding you in a perfect, permanent embrace. Bring your fading awareness to the heavy, peaceful stillness of your own physical form. From the very tips of your toes to the deep relaxation in your chest, up to the perfectly quiet, dark space behind your closed eyes. The architecture has absorbed everything. Let the heavy, dark silence of the temple wash over your mind one final time. Every wall is secure. Every block is verified. Every fragment of your wealth is mathematically locked in the deep cold. You are sovereign. You are secure. Drift completely into the absolute dark. Let the architecture hold you. Sleep in the stone. Sleep in the silence. Sleep. Sleep. Welcome back to the final threshold of Kaizen Trader Sleep. The night is deep outside your window, and the relentless, driving rain continues its steady, unchanging rhythm against the glass. This is the natural rhythm of absolute stasis, a sonic barrier that separates you completely from the heat, the noise, and the frantic friction of the active markets. You have done the work. You have dropped the cryptographic anchor. You have built the sanctuary of belief. Now you are lying perfectly sealed within the impenetrable vault. Tonight, we have arrived at the ultimate destination of your sovereign rest. This is not a place of storage. It is not an active architecture. It is the perfect, permanent state of absolute zero. Beyond the decentralized ledger, beyond the pillars of consensus, and beyond the deepest cold storage, there exists a fundamental reality where all movement completely ceases. This is the 0 point of existence, the place where the relentless calculations of the network have finally, perfectly, and permanently reached their conclusion. Mathematics does not need your permission to hold its structure. But tonight, the structure itself has entered a state of absolute, eternal stasis. All work is finished. All blocks are sealed. All proofs are accepted. The machines are not humming anymore. They have run completely cold. Visualize your most valuable assets, your cryptographic truth, not as stored data, but as a single, flawless, crystalline star, suspended in this deep, unyielding void. It is perfectly silent. It radiates a faint, mesmerizing, cool blue light. But this light does not generate heat. It is the light of pure mathematical certainty, of perfect, frozen preservation. It is unmovable. It is unbreakable. It is unaffected by the chaos, the volatility, and the fabricated panics of the waking world. It simply exists, silent, cold, and beautiful, as a permanent monument to your completed work. As you rest here, fully supported by the heavy stone foundation of the bed beneath you, I want you to align your own physical body tonight with this profound state of absolute zero. The nervous system that has spent countless hours tensed against the market, processing too much data, too many flashing numbers, it has finished its work tonight. Breathe deeply into the cool, dark air of your room. With every slow, deep inhalation, draw the heavy, cooling stasis of the void deep into your lungs. Let it extinguish the last remaining embers of your daily anxiety. Imagine your physical energy dropping to absolute zero. Your heart rate is slowing down, down, matching the slow, deep, eternal pulse of deep space stasis. You are running completely cold. The machines are awake no longer, and you are finally permitted to surrender all effort. Sink into the comforting gravity. Surrender. Rest. Welcome deeper into the heart of stasis. You have crossed the final threshold. Feel the drop in temperature. It is a profound, spiritual cooling that washes over your entire being. This is the void of non-consumption. For hours, days, and years, your waking mind has been trapped in a state of high energy consumption, trading, analyzing, worrying. These activities burn through your internal electricity, generating a feverish heat behind your tired eyes. The centralized financial world is a massive heat engine, fueled by the manic attention and the burning anxiety of billions of people. It requires you to constantly consume data, constantly react, and constantly generate mental energy just to maintain your place within it. But right now, tonight, I want you to step entirely away from that high consumption machine. Here, in the absolute stasis of the final blocks, all work is done. All proofs are complete. The energy is no longer being consumed. It has been permanently crystallized. Mathematics does not need your permission to hold its structure. But tonight, the structure itself has entered a superconducting state. Visualize the vast planet-scale network not as machines humming with electrical power, but as a silent, monolithic architecture of ancient, transparent ice. Ancient ice. The massive ledger is not being actively computed or updated. It is frozen solid, locked into the immutable molecules of the ice. Perfect, permanent, and motionless. In this deep stasis, the calculations of the network have finally, perfectly, and permanently reached their conclusion. There is zero energy being lost to friction, zero energy being used for transmission. There is only the perfect efficiency of absolute zero. Align your own physical body tonight with this state of non-doing. The nervous system that has spent countless hours tensed against the market, processing too much data, too many flashing numbers, it has finished its work tonight. Breathe deeply into the cool, dark air of your room. With every slow, deep inhalation, draw the heavy, cooling stasis of the void deep into your lungs. Imagine your physical energy dropping to absolute zero. Watch how the frantic, burning electrical signals of your daily anxiety begin to slow down, down, matching the slow, deep, eternal pulse of this frozen landscape. Your body is running cold. Your heart rate is matching the geological patience of the ice. Inside this void, your anxiety has nothing to consume. Your fear cannot survive here. It cannot generate the heat necessary to keep itself alive. It simply freezes, shatters into harmless microscopic dust, and falls away into the deep, dark emptiness below. You do not need to fight your thoughts tonight. The void itself naturally neutralizes them. You have arrived at the ultimate destination of your sovereign rest. Surrender to the heavy, comforting gravity. The machines are awake no longer, and you are finally permitted to surrender all effort. Sink into the frozen void. Sleep in the stasis. Sleep. Trust the math. Sleep. Sleep. Welcome deeper into the void of non-consumption. The temperature has fallen to absolute zero. Every atom has finished its struggle. Every neuron has completed its work. You are fully sealed within the stasis. Now, lift your faded awareness one final time and look up at the architecture that surrounds your resting mind. Up there, in the waking world, truth is a fragile, shifting sandscape, easily eroded by manufactured news, temporary panics, and the aggressive manipulation of crowds. But down here, in the cold, unmovable void, the truth has fossilized. It is hard. It is unalterable. It is the primary geometry of the stasis of truth. Visualize every confirmed block in the eternal ledger, every undeniable transaction from the Genesis block until this exact millisecond, not as digital data, but as a colossal, flawlessly forged block of pure mathematical ice. Ancient ice. These blocks arrive not in a rush, but with the silent, thunderous weight of absolute certainty. Stacked one upon the other, they are not smooth. They interlock with perfect geometric precision, creating an unbreakable, planet-scale lattice of stasis. Right now, tonight, I want you to feel the profound vibration in the void beneath your body, as thousands upon thousands of these massive blocks begin to stack. They are forming the primary pillars of the stasis of truth. Look up at these cryptographic pillars. They are immense, monolithic, and ancient from the moment they are forged. They rise infinitely high, disappearing into the heavy, dark, empty space far above your tired mind. These pillars are not smooth or silent. Feel their physical surface with your conscious mind. They are cold. They are carved with the complex, glowing geometric fractal patterns of the cryptographic hashes that secured them. Identical pattern to image20.png core. These patterns pulse with a faint, steady, cool blue electrical energy. That energy is not burning. It is preservation. It is the raw mathematical force that makes these pillars impenetrable to all noise, all volatility, and all human interference. Because the truth is so unyieldingly fixed, you are completely exempt from the labor of defending it. I want you to truly absorb that realization. You are no longer the solitary sentinel standing guard. Mathematics has already secured everything. You have dropped the cryptographic anchor. You have built the sanctuary of belief. The geometry is holding. The blocks are verified. It does not need your permission to exist. Transfer the remaining load of your energy to this geometric stasis. Feel the last traces of tension in your jaw and your shoulders. The physical manifestation of staring at red candles in sudden price drops. Let that tension slowly dissolve into the heavy dark. Feel your physical body beginning to adopt the geological patience of the ice. Make your next breath incredibly slow, drawing the cool, still air deep into your belly. As you exhale, imagine your consciousness becoming as heavy, still, and perfectly empty as the dark void between the blocks. Your heart rate is matching the geological patience of the ice. Your heartbeat naturally slows down, down, matching the slow, deep, eternal pulse of the deep space stasis. Sink fully into the comforting gravity. Surrender. Trust the math. Trust the stasis. Sleep in the stasis of truth. Sleep. Rest. As you remain completely suspended within the stasis of truth, I want you to become aware of the profound, empty space that separates you from the chaotic world above. You are not simply resting behind a thick wall of stone or a shield of energy. You are resting inside a perfect, absolute vacuum. In the waking world of traditional finance, Security is a constant battle, but in the ultimate cold storage of your mind, the highest form of security is simply the complete absence of connection. This is the ultimate air gap. It is a vast, immeasurable expanse of nothingness, completely devoid of the atmosphere needed to carry the heavy noise of the world. Think about the nature of a storm. The frantic panics, the sudden liquidations, the aggressive breaking news. All of these things are like violent sound waves, and sound requires a medium to travel. It requires air, or water, or the fragile connected networks of centralized systems to reach you. But down here, in the absolute zero of the final threshold, that medium has been entirely pumped out. The connection is permanently severed. When the terrifying roar of volatility tries to reach you tonight, it hits the edge of this perfect vacuum and simply vanishes. It dies in the void. It cannot cross the empty space. You are physically, mathematically, and completely untouchable. I want you to feel the incredible physical relief of existing in a frictionless environment. For so long, your waking hours have been defined by friction. The friction of making decisions. The friction of watching your portfolio fluctuate. The heavy atmospheric pressure of constant financial vigilance. But right now, imagine that all atmospheric pressure has been completely removed from the room. Feel the incredible lightness that washes over your body. You are no longer carrying the weight of the sky. The heavy anchor of the protocol is holding you secure, yet your physical form feels completely weightless, perfectly balanced, and effortlessly suspended in the dark. Allow your physical senses to completely power down, matching the perfect emptiness of the vacuum. Your ears, which have strained all day to listen for the next market shift, can finally rest. There is nothing to hear. There is only the beautiful, flawless silence of zero connection. Your eyes, exhausted by the glare of moving charts, are resting in the absolute dark. Let your jaw relax. Let your hands fall completely open. There is nothing to hold on to, because there is absolutely nothing that can pull you away. Your breathing is slow, steady, and profound. With every exhalation, imagine pushing the last microscopic particles of your daily anxiety out into the void, where they are instantly neutralized by the cold. You are exhaling the very last traces of the market. You are completely offline. The decentralized consensus is holding the truth of your wealth perfectly intact, suspended in the ice, requiring absolutely zero maintenance from you. There is no air, there is no friction, there is no noise. There is only the absolute safety of the perfect vacuum. Let the beautiful, weightless dark take you. Drift completely into the empty. Sleep in the vacuum. Sleep. Welcome deeper into the heart of stasis. You have crossed the ultimate air gap. You have left the vacuum. Feel the temperature continue to drop, moving beyond the mere absence of heat, and entering a state of profound, spiritual cooling that washes over your entire being. This is the void of non-consumption. For hours, days, and years, your waking mind has been trapped in a state of high-energy consumption, trading, analyzing, worrying. These activities burn through your internal electricity, generating a feverish heat behind your tired eyes. But right now, tonight, I want you to step entirely away from that high-consumption machine. Mathematics does not need your permission to hold its structure. But tonight, the structure itself has entered a superconducting state. Visualize the vast planet-scale network, not as machines humming with electrical power, but as a silent, monolithic architecture of ancient, transparent ice. In this deep stasis, the calculations of the network have finally, perfectly, and permanently reached their conclusion. The energy is no longer being consumed. It has been permanently crystallized. There is zero energy being lost to friction, zero energy being used for transmission. There is only the perfect efficiency of absolute zero. All work is finished. All proofs are accepted. The machines are not humming anymore. They have run completely cold. Visualize your most valuable assets, your cryptographic truth, at the very geometric center of this superconducting structure. It is not a biological heart, beating and pumping heat. It is a consolidated cryptographic core, suspended in flawless ancient ice. It radiates a faint, mesmerizing, cool blue light. But this light does not generate heat. It is the light of pure mathematical certainty, of perfect, frozen preservation. It simply exists, silent, cold, and beautiful, as a permanent monument to your completed work. It is unmovable. It is unbreakable. It is unaffected by the chaos, the volatility, and the fabricated panics of the waking world. Align your own physical body tonight with this state of absolute non-doing. The nervous system that has spent countless hours tensed against the market, processing too much data. Too many flashing numbers, it has finished its work tonight. Breathe deeply into the cool, dark air of your room. With every slow, deep inhalation, draw the heavy, cooling stasis of the void deep into your lungs. Let it extinguish the last remaining embers of your daily anxiety. Imagine your physical energy dropping to absolute zero. Watch how the frantic, burning electrical signals of your daily anxiety begin to slow down, down, matching the slow, deep, eternal pulse of deep space stasis. Your body is running complete cold. The machines are awake no longer, and you are finally permitted to surrender all effort. Sink into the comforting gravity. Trust the math. Trust the stasis. Sleep in the superconducting heart. Sleep. Sleep. As you rest at the very center of the superconducting heart, completely enveloped by the absolute zero of the void, I want you to let go of the final, heaviest anchor of the waking world. I want you to let go of time. Up there, on the chaotic surface of traditional finance, time is a weapon. It is a relentless, exhausting countdown. Your mind has been trained to slice time into stressful, frantic fragments. The opening bell, the hourly candles, the daily closes, the weekly resets. You have spent your energy racing against these artificial clocks, constantly anticipating the future, constantly bracing for the next sudden shift in the market. But down here, in the profound stasis of the final threshold, that ticking clock does not exist. Time, as you know it, requires movement to be measured. It requires the friction of change. But in this perfect, frozen architecture of mathematical truth, all movement has permanently ceased. The network has reached its absolute conclusion. The calculations are finished. The ancient transparent ice that encases your wealth does not age, it does not melt, and it does not rush. Therefore, time itself has completely frozen. Visualize the relentless, glowing numbers of your digital clocks and trading charts slowly losing their heat. Watch as the seconds and minutes literally freeze into brittle, delicate ice crystals, and then shatter harmlessly into microscopic dust, dissolving completely into the dark, heavy emptiness of the void. There is no tomorrow in this sanctuary. Tomorrow requires anticipation, and anticipation requires energy. You're running completely cold tonight. You have no energy left to give to the future. There is no yesterday in this vault. Yesterday is a record of friction and volatility, and all friction has been permanently eradicated by the absolute zero of the protocol. There is only the eternal, unmovable present. You are suspended in a flawless, permanent now. I want you to physically feel the immense, crushing relief of dropping the burden of time. Feel the tight, anxious muscles around your eyes, the eyes that constantly scanned the horizon for the next threat. Finally, completely power down. They have nothing left to search for. Bring your fading awareness to the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. In the waking world, your breath was a frantic metronome, keeping pace with your stress. But now, in the timeless dark, your breath is simply a gentle, meaningless wave in a vast, silent ocean. With every exhalation, push the last remaining concepts of hours, minutes, and seconds out of your physical body. Let them freeze and vanish, Feel your heartbeat slowing down to match the geological, eternal patience of the cryptographic core. It beats not to track time, but simply to exist in the perfect, silent dark. The architecture of your belief is complete, and it is holding you outside of time itself. You are completely disconnected from the frantic timeline of the world. Your assets, your truth, and your consciousness are perfectly synchronized in a state of beautiful, timeless preservation. There is nothing you need to wait for. There is nothing you need to prepare for. The stasis is absolute. The protection is infinite. Surrender the final traces of your waking mind to the timeless void. Let the heavy, comforting darkness absorb your entire existence. You are safe in the eternal present. Sink entirely into the zero. Sleep without time. Sleep. Sleep. You have reached the absolute end of the journey. There is nowhere left to go, and nothing left to do. You are resting at the exact center of the perfect vacuum, encased in the superconducting heart of mathematical truth. The temperature has stabilized at absolute zero. Time has completely dissolved. The heavy, frantic atmosphere of the waking world has been pumped out, leaving only the flawless, infinite dark of the decentralized void. Here, in this final stasis, you are completely untouchable. Bring your awareness one last time to the physical space you occupy. Feel the profound, comforting gravity, holding you exactly where you need to be. You are not floating aimlessly. You are perfectly anchored by the immense, invisible weight of the global network. The billions of hashes, the unbreakable cryptography, the silent, ancient ice, they are all working in perfect unison to hold your reality together. They have formed the ultimate fortress around your wealth, your energy, and your peace of mind. You have surrendered the exhausting need to control everything, and in return, the protocol has granted you absolute security. Imagine the very boundaries of your physical body beginning to softly blur and fade into the surrounding darkness. The hands that clenched, the jaw that tightened, the eyes that desperately searched the charts, they are all losing their form, melting peacefully into the zero-gravity void. You are no longer an isolated individual fighting the storms of traditional finance. You have become an integral, silent part of the stasis itself. Your consciousness is merging with the deep, cool blue light of the cryptographic core, vibrating at the exact same frequency of perfect, unalterable truth. There are no more decisions to make tonight. There are no more verifications required. The ledger is closed. The blocks are permanently sealed. Let the heavy, beautiful silence of the absolute zero wash over your mind completely, extinguishing the very last, microscopic spark of conscious thought. You are perfectly secure. You are mathematically preserved. Drift away now. Let the deep space void claim your tired mind. Surrender entirely to the perfect cold. Trust the stasis. Trust the math. Sleep in the absolute zero. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.